How would you like to be part of the show? Go to untappedkeg.com/community and leave an affirmation that is resonating with you right now. Be something you use a lot, something that's new, but there's a spot where you can record your affirmation and it will be used at the beginning of episodes. You can do this totally anonymously. And if you don't feel comfortable recording your voice, you can leave a comment and I will read it for you. Untappedkeg.com/community. I would love to connect with you. Here's this week's affirmation.
The main thing I tell myself is that no matter how difficult things may be in the moment, no matter how overwhelmed I might be feeling, is that as long as I make the next right choice, right? The next right choice over the next 5 minutes or 10 minutes or an hour, then I'm going to be okay. Because oftentimes I find that, if I allow myself to start ruminating on things that might happen later on today or tomorrow or the next day or next week or next month, then things become so overwhelming and that just seems like it's too much to handle. And that's when my addicted brain wants to really try to take over, right? So if I just stay in the moment, tell myself, just get through the next 5 minutes, make the next right choice, and I continue to do that over the course of a day, and I make it through that day, chances are I'm going to be just fine. You guys have a blessed day.
Sobriety is scary. That's why Untapped Keg explores different perspectives of sobriety and mental health so that you know you are not alone. Hopefully, you can find something you can implement into your own life. Sobriety and mental health are topics that often are uncomfortable and complex. We do not shy away from any conversation. But you should know we try to be respectful, but there's always room to learn and grow. Everyone is welcome here, as you are, and you will be respected. We are not medical professionals and do not give medical advice. Please seek medical care if you need it. Now let's get to the show. Hey, you. Thank you for tapping into some Untapped Keg, where we look at different perspectives of sobriety and mental health so that you can take something and implement it into your own life and your own journey, where we believe there's only one right way to sobriety, and that's the way that works for you. I'm RJ Zimmerman, and I have the pleasure of welcoming back Jake Yoder for a special Untapped Keg episode where we're talking about the benefits of coaching and mentorship in our journey. How are you doing today, Jake?
Thanks so much for having me, RJ. I'm super stoked to be back here. I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm fantastic, especially all things considered. But I'm in a really great place. I'm in a really great mindset. And my therapist told me he's impressed, which is, that's like a double thumbs up, right?
That's always a good sign.
Sissel and Ebert giving you the big thumbs up.
Awesome. That can only be a good sign.
Right. So Jake, can you start us off with, let's talk about your company and kind of what you do.
Totally. Yeah. So I basically, I do coaching and consulting full time. And I typically work a lot with people that are at the beginning of the journey of sobriety. And I also work with people at various points along that spectrum. And I mentor individuals through the process of basically starting to learn how to really leverage mindfulness and holistic health to set up a life where you're really thriving and really enjoying yourself in sobriety. And I always say, I don't actually really care if people are sober. I care if they're well. And I work with a lot of people who need to be sober to be well. And I'm one of those people. And I tried for so long to be well without being sober, and it's just not possible for me. And also, I realized during that journey that there's a huge advantage to being a person like that, because I'm incentivized to live with a clear head, with fewer distractions. And I'm totally like, sobriety just catapulted me into learning how to feel great naturally. I spent about 9 years just obsessing over that. And I learned a lot of things from the mindfulness world, from the holistic health world, from the recovery world. And I put it all together into a coaching program. And now I take individuals through that program and I do one-on-one coaching with them. I also run a group program where I've partnered with a therapist and a nutritionist to really take a broad holistic health approach so you can learn, and I teach, I really like to emphasize that like food affects how you feel, right? Exercise affects how you feel.
Absolutely.
There's all these lifestyle things that directly affect how we feel. And there's a lot of ways that we can get high, so to speak, off of our own internal resources, off of life. And I call those natural highs. And we kind of look at how do you get access to that every day. But the group program is really exciting because we have a certified nutritionist who specializes in addiction. And I have a therapist who teaches about trauma inside the group. And it's a small group program where people can kind of connect with some of their new sober best friends and stay connected for life, really. So those are kind of the two main things going at the moment.
It's beautiful. I mean, that mirrors what my own journey really has been. Like, started getting my mind right. Now I'm getting my outside, my physical body right, and really diving into the spiritual side. And it's important to realize you have those three groups, those three circles is what I see, right? And then where it overlaps, but it overlaps quite a bit more than we realize. And man, like taking a walk in nature, just how much that clears your head and turns out grounds you. Like it is mindfulness. It is, being conscious of what's going on and meditative, just walking in nature. And I love the approach that you take and how you can make things holistic and be creative about it and not just, settle. And I think that that's important. Like, what this episode's about is coaching and mentorship and the benefits of it. And really, like what I've learned through the podcast, not realizing this, is having a mentor is natural. Having a coach is natural. When I was in my darkest place, I looked back to the shining beacon that I was trying to get back to. And it was the time of my life I had a mentor. Like I had a mentor who took me under his wing, taught me how to be an adult, gave me some guidelines. And I actually felt good about myself. And that was like the one little snapshot, except for where I am right now, where that was true. And so finding people who can help you to be that shining light for you in that darkness, you can't always see everything around you. Often we focus on trees in front of us and we lose the forest, or we see the entire forest and the trees are blurry. And we need people to help us to shift our focus if it's too wide or too narrow, so we can find a perception that really works and resonates with us, totally. If that makes sense. So, Jake, what would you have to say, the benefits of coaching and mentorship? Did I miss anything there?
No, I mean, I would say, it's funny. I work with my own coach to this day. And every time I go into a session, sometimes I know exactly what I want to focus on, but I'm just not sure how there could be any solution, right? Or I'm like, okay, I'm heading into this session. I know this is going to be good for me, but I can't really imagine how, like, what's the outcome going to be? And I walk out every single time just mind blown, wide open, like things that I could not have thought of on my own, possibilities being created, new ways to look at the situation, and even some practical steps to take. And I just walk out like, oh my gosh, that was so helpful. And it's totally changed the game for me. It's changed the game in relationships. It's changed the game in how I approach my business, how I approach my work life. You know, somebody to look from the outside and remind you to take a look at how you're showing up, for example. You know, are you working nonstop and then showing up as the person who's burnt out? You know, sometimes my coach does a really good job of kind of shaking me and saying, hey, stop working 10 hours a day. You know, it's counterintuitive, but if I actually rest, I will show up for my work more effectively and get more done in less time. And I need reminders of that. And I need help with how do I structure that? And when am I going to do what? And it's amazing how, you know, coaching is really like an art form. If you look at the variety of the different ways that, you know, the different things that come out of sessions when I'm working with a client, it could be anything from sitting down with Google Calendar and making a color-coded Google Calendar to fill their life with, with fun, sober events, you know, in a way that they can easily keep track of. It could be anything from that to talking about, you know, difficulty with communication and relationships, or getting online and looking for I was just on the internet with a client yesterday looking at the Ecstatic Dance London website to find to find ecstatic dance events for her to try out, because she's looking for community, and just sort of guiding the mindset of like, who do you look for now that you're sober? Where do you find them? And kind of encouraging clients to really try some new things. So she signed up for a couple of ecstatic dance classes, and I left the session really wishing that I could go to London.
And that's the thing, like, you know, what we really crave is connection. And a way to find connection is through community and through a coaching or mentorship program where you have somebody who you know is in your corner. You know, they're there to help you level up. Like, they see your potential and they want to help you reach that potential or expand on that potential. And that has been invaluable for me. Like, the number of people that I've had who I look at as mentors, and, you know, paying for coaches and paying for mentorship as well. Like, just because there's money involved doesn't mean that there's not a genuine caring there. Like, the, you know, mastermind group I'm in, everybody is there for you. They help you no matter what it is. There's no judgment. Like, everybody's there to level up. And instead of spending it on, you know, these things that I don't need, that I don't really want, and spending it on myself, really, to help myself to grow, is such a big deal. And that's something that I didn't even think about, that I just overlooked for a lot. Like, oh, I don't need a mentor or coach. Like, I'm doing fine, but I was just surviving. And I think that's where coaches and mentors really take it to another level, is you move from just surviving, especially sobriety, where you're just surviving, on to the next day, on to the next thing. It's one day at a time, to moving to thriving, where it's, instead of let's just get through today, it's what joy can I have today? What kind of fun can I create today? How can I belly laugh today? And that is such an incredible blessing to yourself and everybody who you touch. So, you know, when you say like you do this with clients, like, yeah, that is like, a lot of it is somebody's there to help guide you, help you see those things, help you to reach out and give you courage, give you strength that you didn't even know you had necessarily. You know, when it comes to coaching, Jake, like, what do you think is, when it comes to helping with the mindset, what do you think it is about coaching that really kind of gets through the noise a little bit and gets people to see?
Well, for one thing, in all of my sessions, I basically start with a meditation and a breathwork exercise. Typically, I'll lead a client through that and some variation of that, both so that as we go through the program, my clients are learning breathwork and meditation techniques, and so that we can ground into the session. And I think even that simple act of stopping and taking a moment to tune into the breath, to shift out of the frenetic energy of day-to-day life and just get present, that shifts everything. And then we open, we really work on quiet. I'm a pretty spiritual person in the work that I do, not religious in any sense or following a specific dogma, but spiritual in the sense that we're really placing an emphasis on quieting the mind and opening the heart, quieting the mind and opening the heart. And how do you quiet the mind? You meditate. And how do you open the heart? You love that. I'm quoting Ram Dass here, by the way. How do you open the heart? You love what you can love, and you expand outward. So finding a loving connection with life, finding a loving connection with the universe, finding a loving connection with yourself, and coming at life from that place of love and lightheartedness. We shift that state first, and then we look at life and how to deal with it. And that's what makes all the difference.
And it does, and it's those subtle shifts, but it's also like digging down and like helping you to understand what is more. Why do you have that belief that is holding you back? Mm-hmm. What can you do? And like a cheerleader too, the support, the accountability, like all of this, comes from coaching and mentorship. And it's something that you may not think about when you hear those words. And we're brought up to think that we have to do it all alone. That if we're not doing it alone, we're not successful. But if you look at successful, happy people in the world, they're not doing it alone. They have people helping them along the way. They have mentors. Every single successful person has mentors, has coaches.
Yeah.
Every single one. Who was the last favorite speech that you watched? Guess what they have? A coach and a mentor. Why shouldn't you? Right? And I really think that is like at the root of it is, and like you said, doing something that maybe you wouldn't do, you wouldn't know to do, bringing this knowledge to be able to teach you. That is absolutely massive as well. Like trying new things. You don't have to try it alone.
Yeah. And I think, really respecting someone and looking up to someone really draws out the best in you. When I think about the mentors that I've had, either unofficially or, officially, like coaches that I've hired, they're people I respect. They're people I look up to. And when I'm around them, I want to be my best self. It's like there's that saying, be the person your dog thinks you are. It's like you want to be the person your coach thinks you are, or the person that your coach is taking a stand for you to be. And the person that they, the kind of person that your coach is, hopefully you find somebody that represents similar values that you hold, and they'll really hold you to that standard. And for me, it's a natural, it's not like, oh, now I have to do what my coach says. No, it's this natural burst of energy. It's like, this is amazing. This feels great. And I really want to step up my game now because I'm inspired in the presence of this person. Like, one of my mentors along the way is a guy who used to work for the North Face back when they were just a small startup. He was on that team, from the time it was a tiny company to the time that the North Face blew up, and then he spiraled off and did his own thing. And I got to work for him in his own company. And it inspired me every day. I was just like, I want to do the best I can do in the presence of this person. You know, he's doing this incredible philanthropic work all over the world. He's, you know, got this incredible business background, and he's the guy that he taught me how to mountain bike on a mountain biking trip in Africa. That was how I met him, actually. and that was really a game changer for me when I met him and another guy that was on that mountain biking trip. It was a fundraiser for AIDS orphans, and we rode across the country of Swaziland. And these guys were such a good influence on me. I was still in my addiction. I was still smoking pot. I was still drinking. I was still smoking cigarettes. And I met these two guys on this trip. That was one of my first early experiences of mentorship. And I looked up to them so much because of who they were and what they stood for and what they were doing with their lives and what they had accomplished. And they looked at me and they were like, you got to quit. You got to cut that out, man. You got to quit smoking tobacco. That shit's going to bring you down. And they were like, I remember I was 15, 16. These guys were like in their 40s, right? 48, 40, 49.
Yeah.
And they were crushing me up hills. Like they were just burning me up these big hills. And I was like, I want this. I want health. I want to be athletic like they are. Why am I choosing marijuana and alcohol and tobacco over that level of health? And the truth is I had never really seen that up close in a way that inspired me the way that they did. So, you know, even that early experience, and then I ended up working for one of the guys. That early experience of mentorship, you know, was such a game changer. It really helped me get into recovery.
And, you know, that's the thing, like, I'm glad that you said that, like, it helped you into recovery. And a lot of people think, oh, you need a coach or a mentor, like when you're still struggling or, you know, you feel like you're lost, but like, it's also a form of self-care. Like it's a form of getting ahead of it. Like, why are you waiting till you're lost? If you feel like you could use some improvements, why wouldn't you do it? And that's, you know, at any step of where you are in your life, like you can benefit from a mentor or a coach. And it's just things that, like you said, that you don't even realize, like they open your eyes to different aspects of life. You know, if you didn't have that mentor, do you think, you know, you'd be coaching and mentoring yourself right now?
Well, no, I mean, I needed a lot of help to get to where I am. I needed a lot of guidance, and it was an interesting journey because at first, you know, I needed mentorship. When I first got sober, I was 19 years old, and I started going to 12-step meetings, and that kind of helped me wake up, you know, and connect to a group of people who at least were advocating for sobriety, and you know, that gave me some accountability. And then, you know, I saw that for myself, I needed to go beyond that, and I worked one-on-one with a coach. And that coach taught me how to meditate. She actually got me to start a daily meditation practice, even though that was something that I had some resistance to and had a really hard time sitting still. And she started me out with just a really simple, easy meditation practice, 10 minutes a day. And she taught me, you know, some breath work exercises, and she really helped me set my intentions for this next phase of my life. And I was able to lean into my climbing more. I was able to lean into my love for mountains more. And I started to, under her guidance, fill my life with the things that were really most aligned with my heart. And just having that check-in every week was so helpful for doing that. Because, you know, I think it's easy to say, oh yeah, I really want to do more climbing, or I really want to try out this type of dance, or I really want to go to this event, right? But we say these things for months and months and years without doing them. Like I even still have things for myself that I've been saying for forever, that, right? So when you meet with a coach, they help you turn your dreams into projects. They help you take what you say you want to do and make it a reality. And that process was crucial for me. To this day, I have a daily meditation practice. And now sometimes I sit and I don't get up for an hour or 2 hours, because at this point, my meditation is so nurturing for me, and I can go so deep at times that why would I want to get up? Why would I want to do it? There's nothing else more appealing than being in that place. So, it's interesting because I started out with so much resistance. I needed help. I needed guidance. And now some days I don't want to stop meditating. And other days I still have resistance to it, and that's okay. But the guidance that I received from coaches that I worked with over the years absolutely brought me to a place of mindfulness and holistic health for myself that is not perfect. I'm very much human. I still, I'm on the journey just like everybody else, but it's allowed me to get to a place where I can be a mentor, where I can help lift other people up, where I can help inspire people and help, set up some of the structures that were helpful for me as well. And it was a joy to discover for myself that I actually love doing that I love being a mentor. And I worked at Dartmouth College for a while, leading a career mentorship program. And I worked with like over 400 students, helping them with career exploration in the healthcare field. And I realized, oh my gosh, I love being a mentor. The name of the job was lead mentor. And I realized I love mentorship, and I had already started a rock climbing guide business. And so I was mentoring people in how to do climbing and mountaineering also. And I realized that I love mentorship. And then I was like, oh, I think I need to start a coaching business.
That's so awesome. And that's a really great segue too. Like the whole point of this episode of Untapped Keg, is kicking off something that I'm really passionate about as well. And that's that I understand people aren't always going to vibe or connect with the way that I send my message, with the way that I talk. So I'm going to start endorsing coaches that I believe in, that will have your best interest at heart, that will help you get to the next level. And like Jake is the first one, Natural Highs Recovery. Untapped Keg, endorses Natural Highs Recovery. And if you're looking for a coach or a mentor, and what you're hearing from Jake, you really resonate with, like, follow the link in the description that I'm going to put on here, but look up Jake on Instagram, Natural Highs Recovery, and, book a call, see what it's about, and keep a lookout too for more coaching programs that are going to be endorsed. And really, I want to create a place where people can come and they know that if they go to the business or person, that person is going to come with compassion first. They're going to come with love first. And they're going to come with, I'm not here to make me look good. I'm here to make you look good. And that's what a great coach and a mentor is about. It's not about the coach or the mentor. It's about the person on the other side. It's about the person who's going to be doing the acting, but that guiding. And that's something that I've also found is my passion, is teaching and coaching and mentoring. Like that lights a fire in my soul that I also love. And I think that's why we've connected so well too. So, what would you have to say to people, Jake, about booking that call, about Natural Highs Recovery, that, you want people to know?
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And I love the camaraderie in the coaching industry. I'm always constantly cross-pollinating with other coaches and, promoting different coaching work, because it really is about finding the right fit. It's about finding the right person. And so I would say, yeah, if you're interested, if this resonates with you, book a call. And what it's going to do is give us a chance to just explore. I have some questions that I'll guide you through, and we'll have a chance to look more deeply at the roots of addiction, at the roots of your suffering, the roots of the challenges that you're dealing with, and uncover some perspective and leave you with some value from the call breakthroughs from that free call that you can take back with you into your life, and even some action steps that you can take back into your life with you to help you with whatever your top challenges are. And, during that process, I'll have a chance to listen to more of your story and just listen to see if any of the work that I do might be super valuable for where you're at on your journey. So, I'll be listening for whether this is a good fit. I can share a little bit more about the programs that I offer, and we just explore. It's a zero pressure call. There's no pressure to buy. It's just a chance to explore and see if it's the right fit. And if it is an organic fit, then we move forward with, getting you into the right coaching program for you.
And real quick too, before we go, like, what's the benefits of getting into like a group, like a mastermind or like a group coaching session or workshop?
Yeah, groups are fantastic. I mean, groups have really good outcomes for addiction because there's just more accountability. I think, if you're on the sober journey, it's helpful because you can connect with other people who are going through something similar. And, that can be hard to find just like walking around out in the world. And so just connecting with like-minded people on a really similar journey, it really instills that you're not alone. It really allows you to feel supported and like you're on a team, like almost like you're on a sports team and everybody is rooting for you and everybody wants to support each other. And the power of that is just tremendous. I mean, groups that I've been in have been so good for my health. So yeah, I love groups and I think they're extremely beneficial.
I agree with you. Like, as the being around those people, and even if it's just a Zoom call, like the energy is contagious. Like you feel your energy just rising through you and you're floating at the end of it. And it's amazing that you find these people and you're like, this is my tribe. This is where I belong. And you make time to make sure that you're in groups like that. And that's, I think, an underrated section is like putting yourself in that position to be around people who are like-minded. Um, so again, like look out for Untapped Keg Endorsements, and the first person that I'm endorsing is Jake and Natural Highs Recovery, and just loving everything that goes on over there. And you can tell like he's not there about himself; he's there about you, and that's what is important to me, is that people are there for the people that they're helping out, and they're not there to just be there, to be a presence. Jake, is there anything you want to kind of say as we're kind of winding down here?
I'm just super grateful for you, man. I'm really grateful for the attitude of collaboration that you take, the spirit of non-competition. I'm really excited to be on this journey together, both on a coaching journey and just able to support each other. I'm super excited for you, as you're developing your own coaching skills and coaching business. And I mean, I would recommend you to so many people. Like you're exactly just who I want to be around. Like your energy, your presence, your way of being is so perfectly, just so perfectly aligned with that role of mentorship, of guidance. It's just a comfortable feeling immediately being in your presence. So I really appreciate that about you, man. And I'm really excited about, where we are in this life right now and for the journey ahead of us.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you for those kind words. It's at this point, like accepting compliments is still not totally comfortable, but I'm working on it and I do really appreciate it. And I believe you, which is something that I wouldn't have not too long ago. Thank you for that. Like that fills me up so much. So go on the lookout for coaches, go on the lookout for mentors, stay on the lookout, figure out what you want to learn about, see if there's a program, a mentorship, a group that you can join and help you to accelerate your growth in whatever area of life it is. And look up Jake and Natural Highs Recovery, because like I have said this entire time, he's there to help you. And that's what it's about. That's where we're starting and that's what we're building. So let's try to be better tomorrow than we were today. Because at least we don't make it, we tried. And that's all we have in this life.
Totally. Can I add one more quick thing?
Absolutely.
Great. So we have the next group of the Natural Highs Inner Ascent group coaching program running in January. There are about 5 spots left. And anybody that's listening to this podcast, if this resonates with you, I'm guessing that you'd be an amazing fit for that group. It's an 8-week-long group. There's a meeting every week, and there's a video course and a group chat that comes along with it. And you get access to those tools beyond just the length of the program. So we're really leaving people with something that they can take with them for forever. And early bird pricing is available for that group right now until December 7th. There's a $100 discount. And the total pricing of that, just to be completely transparent, because I know sometimes it can be frustrating when people aren't transparent with price. It's $799 with the early bird discount. And that in the industry for a small group like this with a therapist and a nutritionist is really pretty low. We're really trying to keep it accessible. And so just throwing that out there, I would absolutely love to have any listeners join us for the January group. And it is very likely that we'll be running more groups in the future beyond that one as well. So if you're interested, book a call to learn more. And you can always send me a DM and ask any questions you want to as well.
That's honestly, that is an incredible price. Like when you hear that, you're going to be like, wait, what? For what? But if you think about it, where you're spending your money, like this is personal growth, personal achievement. And that is such a great price. And I'm not just saying it because you're here and that, like, I've paid a lot more for groups and like you get out of it what you put into it, but just being there helps you so much that you don't even understand yet. And that's really what I want to get through. Like this is, you've paid for more for gym memberships that you haven't done anything with. Like that is important to keep in mind. Like this is not just something to throw money at and then hope that it's going to work. Like this really is helpful. And, Natural Highs Recovery, hit up Jake and click the link in the description and book that one-on-one call, because it's going to be worth it. Being around those people and having someone like Jake be there to guide you it's such a benefit. So for real this time, let's try to be better tomorrow than we were today, because at least we'll make it. We tried. I love you. Hey, you. It's RJ from Untapped Keg. I would love it if you would come by and join our new community. It is at untappedkeg.com/community. And when you get there, if you could fill out the poll and let me know a little bit about you. Let me know how long you've been sober, how long you've been in recovery. And then I really want to know your favorite story. And it's a fun little icebreaker. And there's been a couple of people that have answered. And you can read what mine is. And that is, it's actually from a video game, Mass Effect, and it's a trilogy. And I kind of explained in detail kind of what I took from it. And it really did touch how life is not black and white, it's gray. And like, that is what I connected with so much throughout that game. And then the last thing I want you to do is go there because you can be a part of the show. Do you want to hear yourself on the show? I'm going to include somebody who goes there to record a mantra that they say to themselves. a little bit of a saying that keeps you going, a daily motivation, a daily letting yourself know that you're okay. And I'm going to start including those in the show. And it'll be you, and it'll be at untappedkeg.com/community. You can sign up anonymously. If you don't want your name read, let me know. I will not read your name. I can change your voice. We can figure it out. If you just want me to read it, send it to me through untappedkeg.com/community. I look forward to connecting with you over there. I love you.